Ho, 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 ho. Welcome everyone once again to our regular Saturday show live on YouTube Spain. I'm Skatz and Santa, and today in our very final live show of 2021, yay, we're going to be talking to Lara, who is not only a parent and a teacher, but a published children's author with experience of both public and private schools in Spain. And we will find out everything that you need to know about sending your child to a school in Spain. So, welcome to YouTube Spain. Cue the music. Again, as usual, you can ask questions live in the chat over there or anytime afterwards in the comments below. If you're watching in July, ignore all of this. It's all going to be about schools. And just in case you missed who were the prize winners for last week's prizes, these names are, get in touch to claim your prize. Chris T and A. Elizabeth Brown. Chris T won the U2 Spain t-shirt and A. Elizabeth Brown won the goodies from Up Sticks. So there we go. Yes, please get in touch. They've not been in touch yet, and we need to get you your prizes. And don't forget, you can get your very own U2 Spain t-shirts and hoodies and other goodies from our merchandise page or ask on our Facebook group. And also a quick plug for Apostille Services UK. Has anyone tried this yet? To get your documents apostilled and translated, you can get a discount by quoting the code here, Andrew APO. Where is it? Just down there. And that is also in the video description below. That's all the plugs for this week. So without further ado, let's meet my wonderful guest for the day. It's Lara Clara Goodacre. Hola, Clara.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. I see you've got Santa behind you. And by the way, if anybody's listening and wondering what the buzz is in the background, it's Santa's pump. It's the thing holding him up. So yes, there we go. And have you got the kids locked up for the day then? You've got, because we were chatting yesterday and they were determined to get involved. Brilliant. Plenty to keep them occupied. Anyway, I'll give them a wave anyway. So, and everyone, you may have guessed from Lara's surname that she is the wife of Chris Goodacre as in Chris from Up Sticks. Yay! And he, of course, is my regular fortnightly expert on residency. We're keeping it in the family today because that's what Christmas is all about. It's all about the children. So, which brings me to your book. I'm going to put. There's a link in the video description below to to her book on Amazon. It's fabulous. I was just reading a bit of it yesterday because you can on Amazon. You can read a bit of the first chapter, and I'm hooked. And I'm not just saying that because
really?
Lara is over there. Yeah, it's the sign of a good book. So everybody, there's still
hope you enjoy it.
There's still time. There's still time before Christmas for you to order it. There we go. So let's get straight on to the subject of the day. This is about Spanish school. So tell us, Lara, a little bit about where you are in Spain and how you come to know about both the public Spanish school system and the private international schools.
Well, my children, they go to the public school. I was in the third year of infantil and in the infants, and Raul is in the second of primary. So that side of it, I know because I do all the paperwork, the application every year you have to renew the application. It's usually like in May time. I can find out the exact dates and let you know, put them in the chat.
Excellent. Thank you.
But every year you have to apply. It used to be that it was, obviously before COVID times, it was just old fashioned, go to the secretary in the school. Usually in Andalusia anyway, here, I'm not too sure about other provinces, the secretary is only open on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays between 9:45 and 10:30. That's kind of how they work. It's a very small window. So before COVID, you would go and just take the application forms, fill them all out, take them back in, queue up, usually a queue, and hand that in. But obviously when COVID came, it completely changed and you had to do everything online. each school usually has a website, and then they have this thing called a secretaria virtual, like virtual secretary, and you just on the school website you go through that link, and then it takes you to that site, and that's where you can like download all the paperwork that you need. Obviously, everything's in Spanish, and then you just fill it all out, and then you can upload it again, and that's how the public works. And then the private side, I have the experience because I'm a language assistant in a school here in Malaga. So it's just totally different, because obviously like the public is free and the private is, I mean, at my school, it's about 400 per month to send your child. It's actually one of the cheaper ones. I have friends that send them to, like, say, Nova School, which is quite a big brand down here, and they pay, I think, around 600, 650 per month. But it's just completely different. I mean, I'm very happy with the public side of things for my children, because like at home they get English anyway. So I want them to go to the public because they're going to get the Spanish all day. And they're just so happy. Like, I mean, you know, I joke about with them and I'll say, like, you know, what do you prefer, home or school? And they just say they love both the same. And I that makes me really happy because, you know, they spend quite a lot of time there, so it's great that they feel at home there. So
Brilliant. So is there
the public side, it's just the public side is just a bit probably more you know, obviously you're paying and they speak English. That's what they kind of promote. That's how, because like I have my job. Like my job is just to speak English. It's nice. Fantastic. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I'm with the 5-year-olds, and you know, I'm with them from 8:15 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's just such good fun. You know, like we're just hanging out, and you know, I'm helping them with their work. You know, sometimes I have to do, you know, maybe read them a story, do like a game with them, that kind of thing. But you end up having such a good relationship with all of them. So it's a really rewarding job. Definitely. I love it.
And in terms of the enrollment, you were mentioning yesterday that you've got more direct. Yeah, on the
public side of it. Yeah, it's more direct. Like you go in, and obviously if you were coming from the UK and you don't speak any Spanish and you can afford it, I would probably recommend private, just because you're going to go in there, you're going to get the more one-to-one with the teacher. You have like more direct access, because like in a public school, they create, like, all the mums create like a WhatsApp group, and then they they call her a delegada, which is like the person that will. There's one girl that will have one lady that will have the teacher's number. And then, so everybody's chatting in the group, but the teacher's not actually in the group, because obviously she doesn't want to be bombarded with messages. So you do have an online platform where you can send the teacher a message, but it's not as she might get back to you in a couple of days. It's not as direct. Whereas I know on the private side of it, I mean, I've had teachers say that they get emails at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Now they're not going to reply at that time, but you know, I mean, it's just that more directness, and also the language. They all speak, they speak like I speak English. So if you need that, with the language barrier, probably private would be better.
Yeah, that I've got a question actually from the internet, which is relevant to that. This is from Mark Austin. He says, we're concerned that moving over to Spain just as our son reaches 10 to 11 years old, that'll affect his education, his confidence, etc., just at a time when normally he'll be preparing to go up to secondary school. So can anyone share any thoughts and experiences? What do you think about that, Lara?
What, coming over to Spain at that age?
I
mean, I've always, I'm not a child, but looking at, I've seen children, friends of mine that have come over and they've gone to public and to private. And in my experience, they're just very welcoming, you know, and I think as far as like confidence wise, I think, yeah, it can be very scary, especially with the language. But I can't stress how quickly children pick up the language. You know, it's unreal. I mean, I came when I was 19, and it took me about 3 years to become fluent Spanish. But I was really like thrown in at the deep end, you know, working straight away, and you know, I didn't really have a choice. But as for kids, like I mean, I've seen small children, and within like 6 months, they are having a complete fluent conversation, you know, and it's just amazing. The sponge, their brain's like a sponge, and it just, you know, and to emerge into that, okay, it would be scary in the beginning, but you know, I've always found the Spanish very welcoming. So, you know, you meet lots of friends and family, and they're just, it's for me, I mean, I don't know, because I've not lived in the UK since like I was 19, but it's just such a lovely life for them. And so, yeah, as far as I would highly recommend it, and I don't think the education would, I think they'd probably learn more in life skills, you know, just because interacting with the different nationalities, and that would be my, yeah.
There you go. And this is Liz. Liz is under U2 Yoga there, saying, yes, quite. We moved our son over to Ireland at that age, and he flourished because they allowed him to stay in primary education for another year. They took him back a year, and also their primary education finishes at 13. So he had 2 years in primary, and we were also in a Gaeltacht area, so he was actually learning Irish. So in advance of moving up to the next school. So, and I think I've heard of people talking about that in Spain. You can drop them down a year, so that it gives them a bit more chance to learn the language. And so
I've heard that as well, that they do kind of, you know, that here they. I've heard cases where a child that's very intelligent can be moved forward a year. That's, you know, that's exceptions. That's not, you know, doesn't usually happen, but it has been known to happen. But here they also do. Basically, if you don't complete the year, like you haven't done enough work, you haven't passed the exams, they do keep you behind. So that they do that. That's quite common, that people repeat a year.
Very handy there. That answers Liz's second question there. That's perfect. Yeah. Okay. So what about the school hours? Does that, what are there differences between the public and the private? The time they go to school in the morning?
The public is from 9. Yeah, the public's from 9 till 2. And then they have the corridor, the dining room afterwards. My children go to the corridor, which is from 2 till 3. And then they have 3 till 4, they have like a playground, which is part of the corridor. So they just go from the dining room to go and play outside on the patio. And then they have after school activities until 5. So like my boy Raoul, he does basketball. And my daughter Isla, she does like arts and crafts. And they absolutely love it. So they have quite a long day, because I mean, I have to start work at 8:15. So that's in the private side of things. It's from half past 8 until, well, between 8:15 and 8:30. The doors open at 8:15, but kids usually come in drips and drabs until about 8:45. And that's until 4:30 from Monday to Thursday, and then on a Friday until 2:30. So it's a little bit of a difference, but it's long days, but they're doing a lot, you know, they're not bored.
Yeah, and also it could be physical activity and craft and things like that. So it's not like you've got to be learning solid.
And on a morning, they have it's called an aula maternal, which is like the breakfast club, and you can drop your children off from 7:30 on a morning. So when you do your school applications on the public side of it, you have to kind of apply for these. So you have to prove that you can't pick up your children and that you're working at those times, if that makes sense. They don't just give the place to anybody. You have to like give your work contract in, or if you work for yourself, you have to give them your timetable. And then if you're lucky, which usually there's enough space for everybody, they let you have that option. And then in the public side of things, it's fairly cheap. It's like €100 per child for the month. And I mean, that's including all school dinners. And you can also apply for like like a discount. So they go on like what your earnings and things like that. You get your vida laboral, which is like your life in Spain, you know, your work history. You give that to them in the application, and then when they look at that, then they'll decide on what kind of discount they're going to give you. So it's really good. And some people get like 100%, so they don't have to pay anything.
Oh, that's very handy. I was going to ask about somebody had a question about that. That was Graham. Let's put that one up because that fits in with what you're saying. It's number 4. Here we go, Graham. This is Graham from Graham After Brexit Brit. He says, is there financial help to buy school books and materials?
Yes. The thing is, in Spain, most children go to school at 3 years old, which is the infants, which some people think that's very young. In the infants, it is lots of playing. You know, it's not really, they do learn, you know, they do the letters, they learn how to read. So it is school, but it's all very fun and, you know, that kind of, you learn through play. That's how I would say. But like it's actually obligatory to go to school at 6 years old. So like some gypsy families, they might not send their children until they're 6. That's just their custom. So for example, in the first 3, in the infants, you have to pay for the books. Like this is in the public sector. You have to pay for the books, which are like usually around €110. Some schools, they really are strict and use the books. Others work, like my children's school, they work through projects. So they'll use the books as and when, you know, like they'll follow them. But the reason I say that is that when you're 6, you get this thing called a cheque libre. And that is basically like a little check that you take it from the school, or now because of COVID, you would download it from the website. You take it to a local libreria, like a bookstore, you know, where they sell all like a paper shop. They have them in every town here, in all of Spain, I think. And you take that there, and then you basically you're swapping it's free. So you'll go in, tell them what school you go to, because they'll have a list, and then the local schools, so they know exactly the books that you need. And you give them the check, they'll order them, and then they'll give you a call in a few days and say your books are ready, and then you go and get them. So it's quite good.
That sounds great. You told me about something called AMPA. Was that AMPA? Is that right?
AMPA,
What's that?
yeah. It's like an association. As far as I'm aware, most schools have them. This is in the public sector. You know, it's a group of, they have like 1 or 2 workers there, and then it's a few other mums that are part of it. And it's something where you all put, I always pay for it, because it's like, I think it's per child, like €11 per year. And then it's 70 if you're like 2 children. And they put money in, you know, like you're paying for it, but then you'll get like little discounts, like when you buy like the school T-shirt. If you go on an excursion, you might get like 2 years off. But I think it's a very good thing, because the money all goes in together, and then they buy like new things for the school. Like last year, they bought like a new air conditioning units for certain classrooms. So it's a good way to contribute to the school, but also you get a little bit of excuse me, the Christmas photos, you get like €3 off, you know, but it's all something, you know.
Oh, it's very good. It sounds like a very good community style education in these public schools.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, the only thing I would say in Spain, I'm not sure in the UK, but here, birthdays, they're a real big deal. And you can, I mean, when was it? November. I think it was October. Sorry, in October we went to 10 birthday parties.
Wow.
And it's like every week, and it's a bit different. I mean, I don't know. Like, I usually, it depends on the parent, but like with my parties, I'll say, okay, can you drop your kids off at such and such time, and then pick them up, and I'll just have like my friends there to help me. But in many of them, they expect you to sit there for like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
And you so you make friends with the mums, and it's good for your Spanish. You're chatting away, but it can get a bit much because it's like it's 10 in a month. You can imagine.
Yes, I can
It
quite
get a bit,
imagine that. Yeah.
But
So is
usually, the birthdays
yeah,
are quite good because, sorry,
that's all right. Carry on.
birthdays are quite good. Usually, everybody puts €10 in, so we have they have this app called from your bank, like Bithum. I've probably heard of it, where you just quickly transfer money across. So like when it's a party, generally some mums want you to go and buy a present, but 90% you just put €10 in their account, and then the mum goes and buys all the presents for the child, and it works great because you don't have to go looking for things, and the child gets what they want.
Wow, so that must have been a bit expensive in October.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Just clear your bank out. Brilliant. I'm gonna put up this. Somebody put when I asked the question on Facebook, do you have any questions about schools? And I have to put this one up. It's not a question. It was just Robert Craig Freiberg just put up a clown that was crying. It was one of these gifts with the moving tears. I'm not sure whether that's a happy or a sad one, or not. Anyway, but I had to put it up because that's the best comment we've had all year. A crying clown. That says everything to me. It says everything about 2021. There we go. So let's see. Quality of education. I've got question mark in my notes up here. But I know you didn't have your kids until you were over there, so it's difficult for you to compare. But is it? Do you think it's better or worse than the UK?
I can't comment obviously for the UK. I mean, my best friends in England, they're very happy with the UK education. Here, I think that it's kind of straight from what I hear. I mean, my boy's he's just going to be 8 in January, but as they get older, it becomes more strict. That's what I've kind of heard. There's definitely a big jump up from infantile to going to the primary, because they do a lot of exams. They do like tests every week, like usually every Friday they've got a test, of what they've learned during the week. So, I mean, here, I think it depends on the school. As I say, some schools are very much by the textbook. They follow the books, quite rigidly. And others try to, like my children's school, they try to work through projects. The director of the school, she's a very nice lady, and that's what she kind of, she tries to go down probably, because in the private route, it is projects. So she kind of tries to go down that route. And that makes it just more, I think, engaging for the kids, But
it sounds a bit more creative.
Yeah, but the quality, I mean, they're very strict on, the handwriting, the way that they teach, like when they teach the letters, it's like, I'd have to show you. I didn't bring anything, but they teach a letter like joined up. And so then obviously when they start writing, they will have nice joined up handwriting. So, so things like that. So yeah, I think it's good level.
I guess it depends on the head teacher, I suppose, like you're saying, if the head teacher is more creative.
Yeah.
And I know a point we were saying about different regions. You say that you're in Andalusia. There's this is also in answer to Mark Austin's question about sending your child over to school in Spain when it's 10, 11. You're just changing over to the upper school. If you're in a different part of Spain, sometimes there might be another language that you have to pick up as well. If you're in Valencia, they will be teaching a percentage of the classes will be in Valencian, which is a bit different from Spanish. It's more like Catalan. And then again, if you're in Catalonia, you'll be doing that, and Galicia, you'll be speaking a bit of Galician. So it does depend on the region that you're in. As to some people have commented that having to leap in and suddenly learn 2 new languages. can be a bit tough. So that's something to bear in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. What age do the kids go up to secondary school? Liz asks.
I believe 12. Yeah, I believe 12
Okay.
years old. Yeah.
Sounds like
they go
same
up
as
to the Instituto.
sounds like the same as the UK.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's like 6 to 11. You're in the primary, and then you go to the Instituto when you're 12.
and is it the same after that? I mean, I know you're in the infantile
Yeah, I'm
level.
not
Do you
that
know?
quite there.
Yeah. So you don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
don't know as much about the secondary level.
Not so much, no, because obviously I work with the infants, and then my eldest is 7. But it's yeah.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
get
not
in.
too sure
We'll get
about
in a
the
secondary school. We'll get in a secondary school teacher to talk about that
Yeah,
one.
we'll have to have another chat in a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. I've got to put Carolyn's comment up here because I had her on the show a few months ago, and she's put a very good point up here. She has an academy, a language academy, and she says, sorry, she won't be able to watch Saturday's episode, but can I suggest that you remind the parents of the importance of maintaining and/or keeping up with their English reading and writing levels of their kids who enter the Spanish system. She says it's amazing how many British kids our academy has had to tutor because their spelling was abysmal and their reading levels were low. And this is especially true if there's the possibility of their kids returning to the UK for university. So that's a very good point.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that I try to help my children with the English side of things, and then we do have a tutor, which Belen, she's great. She's with the kids now just once a week because they have other activities, but she's helping them with the Spanish side of things. So I like to think they're getting the best of both worlds. But definitely, I mean, I have heard of mums that pay for tutors, English tutors, to do the reading and the writing with them. I think it's a very, very good idea, especially as you say, if you're in the public side of things.
Yeah, and this is a secondary school question from Liz. But do you know if do kids does everybody stay in school until they're 18? Is that how it works?
I believe. I thought. Oh, sorry, I've got 2 chickens just like going past.
That's very appropriate for today.
And there's chickens, and they've just yeah. I believe it's 17, I think, but I would, from what I've heard, most Spanish go on to most of them to university, and I think 17 is the school, but then like 18 and 19 is like the high, the A-level type years.
Yeah.
And many that I've known, they study until because then they go on to uni, so they're like, depending on what they're going to do, they up to 24, 25. It's quite common that's why I think lots of Spanish stay at home until they're like in their 30s because they'll be studying until they're like 24, 25, and then they'll stay living at home, obviously financial reasons, but that's very normal.
I'd heard somebody said on Facebook, on a Facebook comment, that there are, even if you're not doing studying courses, there are sort of practical apprenticeships that Spanish kids will stay on, and that's it kind of and it helps to reduce crime as well, because you're not just sending your kids out to be unemployed at 16.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, in the school where I work, they do up until like that. It's like almost, I can't remember what you call it now. Is it apprentice? Yeah, apprentice. Yeah, where they do like courses. So they'll be up until like 20-year-olds, and they'll do like hairdressing, all kinds of different activities. Yeah, anything. Yeah, and that they do all sorts of courses. So that's very good. Yeah, but I think in Spain as well, the kids they're very young for their age. Like you would, I don't know, like I had a babysitter last night. She's so lovely. And she's 18. And God, I think what I was like at 18, like she was like what I was like at like 12. Very, don't know, I think they're just very, I think because it's so family orientated here that, you know, they just are kept younger. I don't know, like, I don't know really what it's like in the UK, but like here, it would be quite common to see like a group of 18-year-olds. They might be all going to have a sandwich and a coffee on a Friday
Wow.
night in a bar. So it's not really, it depends on what kind of group kids get into, but the kids I know, you know, they're just very young for their age. They're doing things that, like, in the UK you'd probably do when you're 12, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And it sounds like, because there's the cafe culture where, you know, it's not a bar culture, it's cafe restaurant.
No, definitely not.
So,
yeah.
And I guess it's like going back 30 years, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. There's the other side where they call this thing called, I think it's botellón, where they all get together and they go in cars and they get drunk. Yeah, there is a culture of that. They have like a big party, like in Malaga Airport underneath, like at the back, there's like this where the motorway flyover is. I've been walking there before, and there's like all spray paint and things. And my friends were telling me that they go there. Not my friends don't go there, but they know of it. That they make these big raves. And I don't know now in COVID, this is a few years back, but they just set up like a big DJ stand underneath this flag, and they all pull up in their cars, and they usually have like a bottle of whiskey or vodka, and they'll all pass it round with their orange juice. And so there's that side of it.
Yeah.
But generally, most kids aren't like that. Most kids are hanging out, having a cup of coffee, you know.
And it's quite common for kids, especially during the summer. Families go out for late meals, and the kids could be out till 1 o'clock in the morning just playing on the street.
Oh, right. It's very it's not unusual to, like, you might go out, and then before I had children, and you would go to like a bar stroke. I won't say a disco, but like a nice bar, and you'll go in and there'll be a brand new baby at the bar in the pram, and you're like ordering your vodka or whatever, and there's this brand new baby. That's very, very common. And we've been at parties. I was a baby, and we've been at parties till like 2 a.m, and he's just sat there in his thing, happy as Larry, and everybody's. But it's all the kids are there and all the family are there, so it's never a really nice life because everybody's just together. You know, there's no kind of like age, adults and no
I guess that makes it. That's one of the reasons. Maybe it makes it a more communal feeling. Presumably, there's less swearing going on amongst the adults because there's all the children there, or do they just swear in front of their kids? I know.
No. It's very much more controlled. Like, the parents aren't getting drunk. They are getting drunk, but everybody's aware that there's families and children there, so it's not like rowdy type of thing. It's just family kind of, it's just very relaxed. It's not. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It depends where you go. There's some places people swear, but generally not.
Yeah, I haven't learned any swear words yet, so I wouldn't know. So I guess I will do over the next few months. No. I think Liz has.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But then again, we were staying with Stephen and Mandy Proctor for a little while up in Locher. So I think Stephen taught her a few swear words up there.
Because they've got a bar, haven't they, in their place? Yeah.
They have, yes, yeah. So yes, we're still recovering from their bar. So hello, Stephen, Mandy.
I can imagine. Yeah. They're a great couple.
Fabulous. So I haven't got any more questions on from viewers on the Facebook groups, and there's no more on the chat. Do you have anything else that to say? That anything we've missed out on about schools? No, I can't think so. All my little notes say so. School fees, you mentioned, education, creativity versus learning by rote. You mentioned something like that. So that kind of depends on the head teacher, doesn't it? So I was very much into the creative education. I was being brought into schools in the UK and Ireland to do various creative activities just to stop the kids getting stuck in this learning by rote method of education, and the teachers absolutely loved it. It took them back to their training as teachers. There was a lot more creativity there.
Yeah. That sounds great fun.
Yeah, I look forward to doing that here. So we've covered exams and homework. Yes, that starts a bit earlier. And picking up the language, the teachers are stricter later on. Yeah, how strict do you think the teachers are? Do they just get stricter the higher up you get?
I think they're strict at any age. They don't let you. They keep kids in line. But I just think it's more rigid, as in the work, and that you have to do the tests. It's a lot more. Just there's a bit of just a big difference between the infants and the primary, because the primary is just more tests, learning. They're quite, they're doing the maths, the science, and then obviously in the infants it's just playtime. That's what I would say. But learning, lots of learning as well.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
It's, learning through play. Yeah, it's lovely. It's nice.
Brilliant. Well,
yeah, I recommend if you want to get a job, I would recommend going to be a language assistant in a school if you can. Because it's a very rewarding job.
Okay, cool. Good recommendation. I forgot to put my flashy Christmas lights on. As we wind up for the day, I think I'll put the lights on. There we go. They go up. Merry Christmas, everybody. And so that's it for all of the questions. Normally I sign off with my guest and wave them goodbye and then do the end of the show without them. But I tell you what, stick around, Laura, so for the last 2 minutes, just for a change, because it's Christmas. And thank you so much for giving up your time, by the way, and to help our viewers. It's been lovely to have you on the very last show of the year.
Thank you for listening.
You're welcome. And so next week, viewers, as you might know, if you've looked at your calendar, it's Christmas Day next Saturday, and the following Saturday is New Year's Day. So I'm going into holiday mode for a few weeks, and so we won't have a live show for the following 2 weeks. But you can still watch any of the videos on this channel. Of course, they're all up there, and you can still even ask questions. You never know, I might get bored of making merry. Ho ho ho! No, that's not likely, but I will answer your questions eventually. And at some point early in 2022, I'll announce to you all the subject of our next show. It'll probably be with Chris from Up Sticks, so from the very same room over there, or from the office if he decides to go in that day.
Yeah.
And if there's a subject you'd like us to cover on here, then drop us a comment below. And otherwise, I'll see you all in 3 weeks at our regular time of 9 o'clock in the UK and Ireland, 10 o'clock if you're in Spain. And don't forget to check out the U2 Yoga YouTube channel by Liz, because you can get free yoga and meditation classes, and that's the sort of thing that you need over Christmas when your family is too much to bear. Just have yourself a bit of calming yoga and meditation, and or some.
I'll check that out. That sounds great.
Yes, yeah, do it. There's a link below. I'll send it to you, and of course that U2 aromatherapy as well. She's top aromatherapy person. So. And of course, T-shirts. You can get your T-shirts. We're not selling these, but you can get a U2 Spain one, or I think a Liz and Skatz one, or a U2 Yoga shirts, and all kinds of goodies. So, and don't forget, you can subscribe and click on the bell. There we go. That's just about everything. That's all of the plugs. Usually, everybody's turned off by this point, so we can say whatever we want. We've got the last few viewers on there. Alan Nichols says the crying clown is Boris. There we go.
Alan Nichols. I think that's my dad.
Is it? Is that your dad? Who did he design your book cover? The one that's behind you.
He what? Sorry, no. My father-in-law designed. I'm going the wrong way this way.
Oh, it's Chris's dad.
My father-in-law. Stuart Goodacre, he designed the cover of my book. Yeah. No, my dad, Alan Nichols, he lives in Scotland.
Aha. There we go.
And I'm always ringing him up and doing the video call, showing off how the weather's nice here, and he's usually cold and raining. But
It's just very mean, but I do it all the time. I keep boasting on what the weather's like. I mean, I've got my gloves on today, which is really handy because it's it's gone down to the terrible depths of about 14 or 15.
Here.
Yes, which is just a bit chilly. But then again, I'm in an upstairs room in a tower with no heating at the moment, so. But still,
no.
it's still bearable. And you've not seen out there through this door. I'm actually up in the olive trees. It's a lovely view out the back.
Wow. Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
it's pretty. Pretty here.
we will sign off then. So thank you everybody for tuning in.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Huge
you.
thanks to Lara. And
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Ho, ho, ho. And yes, have a brilliant Christmas and have a brilliant New Year, everybody. And I will see you all. I will say peace and love and Merry Christmas. And we'll go back to our wonderful music and say goodbye. Bye-bye for now.
Bye. Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.